the main health problems with the duck-footed walk is the abnormal impact or weight that goes over the insides of the hip joints, the insides of the knee joints, and the insides of the ankles. That extra force down the middle of those joint lines causes damage over time. So let's look at simply why we have those extra forces. When I stand with duck feet, my weight distribution is directly between the 2 feet. And since my feet are angled outward, instead of an even distribution over the middle of both feet, now my weight distribution transfers my weight towards the insides of the knees, the insides of the hip joints, and the insides of the ankles and the feet. Now, when I walk normally, the first thing I do is transfer my weight all over one leg, so everything is evenly distributed before I take the next step. If I'm facing forward, I transfer my weight over one leg with all of the weight evenly distributed between the inside and the outside of my knee. If I'm stepping forward like this and I transfer weight, my weight is now moving forwards towards the inside of my knee, causing extra stress on that joint. That is also causing extra stress on the ankle joint. So part of the problem is that my weight is transferring incorrectly over the joints. The other problem is that I don't actually change weight, so my spine is directly over the joint that I'm standing on. When I use the duck-footed walk, you'll notice that my spine stays between the 2 feet the entire time I'm walking. When I walk normally, even if I start this way, when I take a step, my spine shifts directly over that leg before I complete the step. When I'm walking forward, my spine shifts directly all over, directly lined up over the foot. When I walk with duck feet, my spine never makes that shift. So the weight is always towards the inside, pushing the weight down into the insides of the knees and the insides of the ankles. That can cause serious damage over time. The purpose of this exercise is to take the weight from this position where our spine is between the 2 feet and get us to practice lining everything up over one leg. That's why this is such a good balancing position, because you can't do this balancing position if your spine is not directly over the foot that your weight is on. In this first exercise, we're going to focus on keeping the feet facing directly forward and standing in a neutral posture with my spine vertical and my pelvis in a neutral position, meaning not tilted backward or not tilted forward. From the side view, not tilted backwards or not tilted forwards. We want to keep the spine and pelvis in a neutral position. The reason for this exercise is people who walk with the duck-footed walk position with their feet turning out this way start to become uncomfortable when their feet actually begin facing in a correct position, facing directly forward. So what we need to do is get comfortable with this normal body position with the feet both parallel, facing in a forward direction like railroad tracks. So we're going to start. Check your feet position about shoulder width apart for this exercise. Gaze directly forward, shoulders back and down so the palms are directly facing your thighs, and the fingertips should be pointed directly down towards the ground with some energy moving down. Keep the pelvis tucked under in a neutral position, and we're going to stand here keeping the hips relaxed so you can feel the natural position of those forward-facing feet. If you typically walk with your feet turned out, this might even be a little uncomfortable in the beginning. When you're doing this exercise, it's important to keep all of the joints lined up. So my hips are lined up directly over my knees. My knees are lined up directly over my ankles, and my ankles directly over my feet. You want to feel your weight distribution evenly distributed over the feet, equal on the inside of the foot and on the outside of the foot. So I don't want my knees to buckle inwards, and I don't want my knees to buckle outwards. Keep them directly lined up. This is how our joints are designed to move. From this position, we're going to sink our weight a little bit to find a second position, first beginning by raising the arms and then sitting down and pressing down with the palms as if you're pushing down gently on the surface of a table. Again, the pelvis should be kept in a neutral position. If I do my side view, my pelvis is in a neutral position, not tilted back and not tilted forward. Nice neutral position of the pelvis and the spine. Facing forward again, make sure your feet are shoulder width apart. I'm sitting down in this slightly lowered stance. And then I'm going to rise back up. And I can repeat the exercise several times. In this part of the exercise, we're going to work on shifting the weight forward and back so we can feel how our core is used to move the weight in a controlled and fluid fashion without pushing. I'm going to step back and I'm going to keep my feet just slightly apart as if I was standing almost with the feet together, and then just move one foot directly back. Both feet will be facing straight forward, and I'm going to sit my weight back on the back leg. This by itself is the first part of the exercise. I want to be able to keep my pelvis in a neutral position, not tilted forward and not tilted back, while I'm sitting with all of my weight on the back leg. Again, keep your posture, eyes gazing forward, head up, spine lifted. I'm going to go from the side position. So you can see my spine is all lined up over my hips, and my hips are lined up over my heel. My pelvis is not tilted forward, and it's not tilted backwards. Now from this position, I'm going to reach forward with my right arm just in a relaxed fashion. It's going to move in opposition to my left leg. So my left leg forward, my right arm forward. And from here, I'm going to shift the weight forward, reaching forward with my left arm and dropping my right arm. When I shift forward, I'm going to move to the point where my knee is lined up right over my ankle. So my left knee lined up over the left ankle. I'll start back and shift forward, keeping the spine vertical the entire time. I don't lean to shift forward. I also don't push off the back leg. I should have more of a feeling of pulling forward with my hip and with my knee on the left leg as I do that shift. I'll go from the side position, sitting down with the pelvis in a neutral position, right arm slightly forward. I'm going to pull forward until I reach the position where my left knee is lined up over my left ankle and my left foot. My left arm is now reaching slightly forward, and my right arm has dropped back to the side. I'm now going to shift back and shift forward. Shift back, shift forward. Now again in the forward-facing position, I'm going to start with my initial position seated over the right leg, and I'm going to shift forward and then shift back. Shift forward, shift back. Shift forward, shift back. Again, it's a pulling feeling from this leg, not a pushing feeling from that leg. In position 1, I'm sitting back on my right leg with my left leg forward and the knee straight. Not completely locked, but it is straight and relaxed. Both feet are facing straight forwards. My weight is all situated right over my back foot and my back ankle. I'll show you from the side position. This is position 1. Spine vertical, pelvis in a neutral position, all of the weight situated over my right foot and my right ankle. Left leg forward, both feet facing forward. Left knee is in a relaxed but extended straight position. If you want to check your position to see if your pelvis is neutral, you can do this against a wall and make sure that your pelvis, your lower back, and your shoulder blades can all contact the wall at the same time. If you have a tilt forward in your pelvis, you won't be able to hit your shoulders against the wall at the same time your hips are against the wall. You'll also see that your center of gravity is not over your back leg, it's over the middle of your body if your pelvis is tilted forward. So pelvis in a neutral position, all of the weight directly over that back leg. This is position 1. From position 1, we're going to shift forward to position 2. Position 2 has my weight slightly forward with my knee lined up directly over my left foot now, instead of the weight being back over my right foot. So I shift my weight forward over the left foot, my knee directly over the left foot and the left ankle. My left arm is going to move slightly forward and my right arm is going to drop back to a neutral position. So I'm going to move from position 1 with my weight over the back leg, right arm forward, and I'm going to shift forward to position 2 with my left arm forward and my spine centered between the two legs and my left knee directly over the left ankle. From the side position, you should see that the knee is directly lined up over the ankle and my center of mass, or my spine, is pretty much directly between the 2 feet. I'm going to shift back from position 1 to position 2. Position 1, position 2. Now from position 2, I'm going to go to position 3, which is a balanced position with all of the weight carried over my left leg. Again, I want to keep my spine vertical and I want to keep my pelvis in a neutral position. Don't let the pelvis tilt forward. Don't let the pelvis tilt back. I want to keep my pelvis and spine in a vertical position. My right knee should lift up and the lower leg on the right should be angled slightly forward of the knee. I'm going to round my arms in front like this to help me keep the balanced position. Now I'm going to show you from the side view. I'm going to go from position 1 to position 2 to position 3, keeping the pelvis in a neutral position, not tilted forward, not tilted backward. You see how a forward tilt of the pelvis is going to bring my knee back? This is one of the things you can use to check your position. When the pelvis is in the right spot, neutral positioned, the knee should be up and the lower leg on the right should be angled just forward. We're going to circle the arms. This is position 3. From position 3, I'm going to move directly into position 4 by lowering the body until my heel on the right comes in contact with the ground. At this point, I'm going to drop my right arm and keep my left arm facing forward. Again, in opposition to the leg. Left arm, right leg. This is position 4. I'm going to show you from the side. Position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4, drop the right arm from position 4. In position 4, my heel is going to be down and the toes of my right leg are going to be angled upwards. This is the end of position 4. Now I'm going to assume the final position, which is position 5, by sinking the weight. When I sink the weight, now this is position 5, or again, this is now position 1 of the next movement. My weight is now on my back left leg, spine vertical, pelvis in neutral tilt, and then my right leg forward with an extended or straight right knee. Left arm is going to be slightly forward. And now from position 1, I'm going to switch to position 2. I'm going to lift the left leg to position 3, keeping everything lined up. Then I'm going to reach down with the right heel. That is position 4. And then let the weight sink. In the next part of this exercise, I'm going to move from position 2 into an actual forward step. So, to review, I had position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4, position 5. I'm going to go again now from position 1 to position 2. And instead of rising to a balanced position on one leg, I'm going to lift forward with my left hip, meaning almost the feeling of lifting my left knee up, which is going to pull my weight forward into a forward step. So position 1, position 2, and now I'm going to step forward to begin my walk. I'm going to do it from a forward-facing position. Position 1, shift to position 2, and this is the moment where I begin a normal forward step by lifting the body forward. And I can continue to walk from there. If you tend to walk with your feet in the duck-footed position, this exercise is designed to help you convert to moving your feet in line with each step. Beginning with position 1, position 2, and then this is now position 3, or beginning the walk.